Get your fish on and Mr. Bass. And we got a good one tonight.
Hell yeah, we do.
John Cox, Major League Fishing / BASS / NPFL. Well, he's not the John Cox in NPFL, but it wouldn't surprise me if he showed up fishing the NPFL as well. That guy fishes everything.
He fishes everything. One of the greatest guys in the world. It was funny because when I asked him, he's like, "Oh, this is going to be a great time for you and I to catch up," and I'm like, "Oh no!" But then I thought, okay, we can handle this.
Sure.
This is going to be good. Man, you go for where did you go for 4 days? I mean, literally, I had withdrawals. I was like, I need my live chats.
Well, my daughter has been living in Colorado. She moved back here. So I literally drove out to Colorado, helped her load everything up, helped her move it all back here. And it took a little longer than I thought. So that's why I have been out of the loop.
Corey effing Hibden. Cox juice everywhere.
That's for sure. That's right. It's gonna be good. Nothing like Cox juice.
We should. Oh, there's someone from Indonesia. Hello. Holy cow.
Yeah, sweet. That's awesome. Kept checking YouTube, make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, disturbance in the Mr. Bass Force. That's what's going on, Corey. I got pulled away, but I'm back. And what better way to be back than with
Callaway.
John Cox. That's going to be awesome.
So
what up, Callaway? How you doing, buddy?
I finally got everything.
That's my grandson.
I finally got everything settled with Tackle Warehouse this afternoon after getting a bunch of codes that actually were pre-used, which made no sense to me.
We need to explain this in case people aren't aware, but on our last show, we gave away a bunch of Tackle Warehouse gift cards, and Steve's got the inside scoop of Tackle Warehouse on this deal, and you can explain to him what happened, but it was out of his control, and there was a couple of silly things that happened there.
I think it Hellabass. I think it happened to a bunch of people. I think we talked to Debo and he had a hard time with it. And then it seemed like, I don't even know if it was the holidays or I really don't know. I didn't get that much into it. But today they told me that tonight I would be emailed all of them because there's, as you know, there's more than what it is.
Yeah.
And then from here on out, they will just do a bunch of physical gift cards for us. So it'll all work out.
So check out my sweet hat, as Michael Bradley said.
Nice.
Grandpa Woody sent this to me.
Oh.
And I went to my PO box today, and it was in the PO box. So that was exciting. Thanks, Woody. Appreciate the G Loomis hat. I love my G Loomis rods, and it's a nice hat to go along with it. Appreciate that, man.
I sent you a NRT hat, didn't I?
Yes, you did. NRX
yeah.
Plus hat. And every time I wear that thing, it's like, where can I get one of those hats? I mean, that is a popular hat.
Yeah, I don't know where. I think they sent that one to me. So while we're waiting for John, a couple things we've had some ideas, show ideas.
Yes, we have.
So we're gonna do. We have the fantasy fishing. And let me just say, everyone should go to Hellabass because he's the one that put it on his channel. And I thought, oh, what a great idea. So I have to give Hellabass credit. And I actually sent him an email saying if he wanted someone on the show just to text me, and I would help him out as much as possible. So that still is out there if he needs it. So we'll have
neither of your hats would make good visors. Good, because I do not want a freaking visor.
You don't wear visors?
No, I'm an anti-visor guy.
I'm an anti-visor.
Anti-visor. That's right.
Who are you, Kyrie Irving?
I don't want the first visor. I don't want the second visor, and I don't want the booster visor.
We got Kyrie Irving and Antonio Brown with us tomorrow.
Whoa, nice. Antonio Brown. He's looking for another job. Maybe he could get in the old fishing market.
If someone gives Antonio Brown a job in football, something is completely wrong in life.
Yeah, that's the major injustice of the planet. If he gets another job.
Yeah, I'm completely. I don't like that man at all. So we have fantasy fishing.
They notifies our mandates. No, I don't wear. I'll tell you, just to get this on the record, I don't wear visors because I'm so pale. The top of my head would burn terribly. So I got to be fully covered from the sun. A visor just doesn't work for me.
I used to wear visors all the time, and then I don't even like you start getting older and things start thinning out. Hair starts growing out of your ears, but doesn't grow on top of your head.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. It's like the freaking hair doesn't remember where to grow.
Yeah. It starts getting gray in areas, and then it starts growing. Man. You get afros in the ears, just little puffs. So, but then I just stopped doing it. So it was,
But Hellabass is a big visor fanboy. If you notice, he's always wearing the visor. So.
I just was getting burnt all the time. So also, are we going to talk about the other thing we're going to do?
Visors are like a vest for your head. I keep reading all these comments.
I know.
A vest for your head. Oh, jeez.
I like that. Fishing is neat.
You're super fuzzy right now. I don't know if it's your internet connection or what, but your picture's not. I got a couple of comments about it.
Hold on. I will switch to a slower speed. Maybe that will be better. Maybe.
Yeah, it might be.
Okay. So the other thing is we're going to do. He just fuzzy. Yeah. It's just fat. fat pixelates easier.
It looks fuzzier to me now that you changed.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was a lower resolution. Hold on. I'll go back to the other one. There we go.
Okay.
So we're gonna do like would you call it a round robin or a March Madness?
Yeah, kind of like a March Madness. Kind of like what I did with the 6 cent Quake 70s. We're gonna do something similar to March Madness, but we're gonna do it with anglers.
Yes.
Right.
Saltwater and freshwater.
Right.
And here's how we're gonna do it. We are going to. Mr. Bass might have somebody, and we'll just Kevin Van Dam makes the list. So you could get Kevin Van Dam, and I could get Jose Wehebe.
Yeah.
We'll debate each other on who we think is the better angler, and then leave it to everybody else to vote who they think should move on, and we will crown someone the best angler of all time.
Right. So we're not going to do this all in one show.
Yes.
We're going to have a segment on this show where we'll show you kind of like all 64 anglers, 32 on each side or whatever it turns out to be. And then we'll whittle them down. We'll hit couple each show or something until we get down to the winner. All right. There's the man, John Cox himself in Technicolor. So let's bring him on.
Let me. How do I get this on speaker?
You're on speaker. There you are.
I can't hear it though.
We can hear you just fine.
Oh,
wait. Let me see the big head on the other side.
But hold on. Let me figure out how to get. I can barely hear you guys. Wait.
Look at all those checks.
Right there.
Right there.
Look at that.
Oh, geez. Let me see. Video, audio.
By the way, this is the hardest thing he's done in 5 years.
Hold on. I'm going to grab my earpods real quick. Hold on. Here, talk to you for a second.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Hey, dude.
Oh, snap.
Are you going to come on the show? This is Keith Carson. NPFL winner.
What are you guys up to?
We got all kinds of celebrities hanging out over at John Cox's house.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Look at this garage he's got. It's huge. It's got like 10-foot ceilings. Look at this.
Wow.
You won a couple of those nice checks last year, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man.
Heck
Dude,
yeah.
it's so good to see you, man.
Yeah. I don't know why it's not so quiet.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. It's hard to hear, huh?
Yeah. Can you hear him?
Dude, you need to be on next week.
We can hear you great.
Oh, good.
Keith, are you on next week?
Yeah, I could do next week.
Okay.
Sweet.
Or wait, no, maybe not. Are we
What?
going to be in Texas?
Yeah, you can do it next week. We'll
Yeah.
just be at a house or something.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have Wi-Fi.
Why aren't these coming on?
You probably have to. You might
Oh
have,
my gosh,
turn on
what a
Bluetooth.
mess. Hold on.
Oh, wait a minute. Look at all the are those rods up top? No, those are pegs. For
I'm wondering if
feet.
my thing just messed up.
Uh-oh.
Your thing definitely looks messed up now.
Yeah, I think he dropped it. We should say
He's still connected. It's
With
just black now.
this is the most stressful thing he's ever done in his life.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's as calm as can be when he's fishing for $100,000.
Did they turn on?
Oh, I can hear you guys good now.
Oh, there he is.
Sweet, perfect.
Yeah, I can hear you guys good right now.
How is that? What is that? The house where I've been to?
Oh no, I moved.
Where did-
Are
you still in DeBerry?
Yeah, I moved to the country club.
Oh, look at you! Oh, Mr. Posh!
Yeah, I know it's kind of weird. I feel like they're gonna ask for the keys back, but I don't know. And I think we've gotten 2 letters so far. One, they said I have to fix the dead spots in the yard, the grass, and then the other one I have to paint the mailbox. But besides that, it's been good.
They have no idea what redneck stuff is about to happen in that house.
No, my neighbors, they like loved me at first. They were so nice, and now that I got like 2 boats over here, and like we parked the trucks like in the grass down the side of the house, they're not waving at me anymore.
Do you still own the other 2 houses though on the pond?
So yeah, I own the one still, the one that you went to.
Yeah.
I sold the one next door. We worked on it, and we sold it the other day. So
Yeah. So we still have an opportunity to fish that pond.
oh yeah, we can still get in there. This one's got a really nice one too. We just haven't had time to clear a trail out through the woods to get to it. But it's a really nice pond. It's like on the golf course and stuff. So yeah, I can't wait to get out there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Congratulations. Well, this is Mr. Bass, in case you didn't know.
Good to
How
see
are
you,
you?
John.
Good.
Awesome,
Nice to meet you.
awesome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah, no problem. Anytime.
So it's off season. Are you? I mean, I know the answer probably. Are you getting ready? Well, first let me ask. Why in the hell are you doing the full circuit of everything again?
Oh man, I loved it this year. I mean, it was insane. It was a lot of tournaments, but man, it was so much fun and swapping from the 5-fish format to the MLF Bass Pro Tour format. Man, it was a blast. Like I just caught a ton of fish, and and even some of the ones that were super exciting was when I left one tournament, I think in Guntersville, after I made the cut, and my wife drove through the night. I got to Harris Chain, no practice. We pulled in right as they were doing the anthem, and they dumped me in, and I took off with my camera guy, and it was so cool. Like first bite was like a 7-pounder, so it was just it was an awesome year, and it was just a lot of fun. It kind of sucks I'm not able to do the Bass Pro Tour next year. Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to get to do the elites and pro circuit, and
Yeah.
going to get to travel with Keith for the pro circuit. So that'll be fun.
How exciting is that?
It's cool. Like we've been talking a lot, because there's a couple tournaments we can't talk. He can't tell me anything.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll have a Bassmaster Elite there afterwards. So, so those I'm like, hey man, we can't talk about those. But the ones we're allowed to, we're just trying to game plan and figure out, what, how we should attack the lake. Are we just going to go out there and wing it and just, see what happens, or we're going to try to make sure we don't land on the exact same spot, or I don't know. So we don't know what we're going to do.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's going to be a blast.
So how many tournaments are you fishing this year then?
It's honestly almost the same amount. I think it might be 4 short. I just won't. I might have to miss just one. If I make the Pro Circuit Championship, might have to miss one of the Bassmaster Elites. But it's honestly close to the same amount. Throwing in the Bassmaster Classic and the Red Crest at Grand Lake, and then hopefully making the Pro Circuit Championship. So that's kind of cool. Like, next year, 2022, I'm gonna fish like 3 of the major championships in the same year. So that didn't hit me till the other day, and I was like, oh man, I need to get my stuff together. And that's why I've been really organizing and trying to get everything together.
You plan for that many tournaments? I mean, you just kind of wing it some, or?
Yeah, I don't like book anything in advance really, and that's, I kind of just show up and hopefully find like somewhere to stay and stuff. But more just trying to get my tackle ready, because honestly, I was looking the other day. Once I start here next week, between then and the end of or middle of May, I think I might have like maybe 10 days off.
Wow.
So it's gonna be exciting though. So
okay, so you have that opportunity next year to fish a lot, but you realize that like you're probably going to be one of the favorites at the Classic. You know that, right?
No, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I am excited about that one. I love Hartwell, and so I don't know, but it will. I like that time of year, and just hopefully it's not like snowing on us.
Have you started to look at like when you've had great success there at Hartwell? Do you when you get over there to practice, do you go, okay, I need to find something else, or do you like what I would do? I go right back to my spots.
Yeah,
that one tree, I want to go to hit that tree.
Yeah, I honestly have spent probably too much time there, and I love fishing that place, and I have so many places. I don't think I'm going to really go look for anything too new, Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to, try to run around. I mean, last time it hurt me, I moved around too much, had a couple areas that really turned on that I was really regretting that I didn't stay on them, during the day. So I got to just make sure I don't, move around too much and maybe land on them pretty good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm looking forward to Keith being out there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. We got a lot of new stuff. Berkeley came out with. We had a meeting the other day, and so we got all this new stuff, and it's like legit. Like today, I don't even know what we're allowed to talk about yet, but we don't have many of these new baits. But they're like, there was one today. I mean, it is good. It's catching them. So
awesome.
Speaking of Berkeley, I know you've been fishing with Maxon a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think though about Maxon? Have you really noticed a major difference?
Yeah. I mean, it's just tremendous compared to just any stuff we used to use. Like I used to swim a jig a ton, and I still swim it a bunch. But I notice now when I swim my jig with the Maxon trailer, man, those fish, especially when I'm swimming it fast, like when they come up behind it and just put their nose on it, a lot of times you get these giant fish to follow it back to the boat and never get it. And now it seems like when they get their nose, as long as they get close to that and they either taste it or whatever it is, they end up taking it, And sometimes I just give them a second longer. Once they take that jig with that trailer, I'll just give them a second and let them actually swallow it. Compared to when you would set the hook and you'd lose your trailer or whatever, they just really hang on to it. Even largemouth. Everybody thinks it's just the smallmouth thing, but I'm catching tons of largemouth on it too. I mean, look at my wall right here. It's all purple bags.
So truthfully, is it as good as Cox juice?
No.
It is probably better than Cox juice.
No way.
Whoa!
Hey,
Hey, it
Cox
ain't.
juice,
No.
hey, Cox juice was good, and it had its, it was more of a what Cox juice did. It was more of made the worm, that might have so much salt in it. It really helped it, act differently in the water. Helped it like float and just change the action of it, which was great, But I don't know, the Max Scent's pretty good.
Dude, I have so much of that Cox juice. It's not even funny.
Well, I mean, I still get some people wanting to buy it, but I don't know. Bitters might have some of it, but now that everybody knows you have some,
Yeah.
you can probably sell it to them.
Yeah, I'm not selling it. I told you, I like put my worms in a Ziploc,
Mm-hmm.
give it a couple squirts, and then I let them marinate for like 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and then I use them, and then
Yep.
it is on point. It's on fire.
Right.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And just the name alone, can I just tell? John would come on the show, on the radio show, and all we would say was Cox juice for 3 hours just to piss off our producer.
Advertisers.
And we had to prove. Remember, you had to bring it in to prove it, so we couldn't, because they were like,
Yeah.
"You can't say Cox
Yeah,
juice."
I think they censored us on almost every time we said it.
It's a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say, I need to get an autographed hat from you for Kyle Warfield, if that's okay, next time I see you.
Oh yeah, no problem. No
Yeah.
problem.
He is your biggest fan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was saying to Kyle, and I think you know this, I've only been fanboyed out on 2 people of all the people I've ever met,
Right.
fishing-wise. John is one of the people I fanboyed out because first he's from DeBerry, which is right down the street from, well, I lived in DeBerry. I used to always see his truck go by. Wasn't it like 16 or 18 months you were the number 1 ranked angler in the world?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks.
No, you know better than that.
It didn't last long. I know it was pretty. I was like, oh man, this is great. And then I think Aaron Martin's or Scott Martin.
No, I think I remember it was a long time.
Yeah.
And just one of the nicest guys in the whole world. So I'm so proud and happy for you.
Thank you.
Does one I mean, no, I'm not taking anything away from bass. I'm not taking anything away from Major League Fishing. But is there one? Do you like one series a little bit more than the other that you're going this year?
I honestly, I really love both of them. The MLF, which was the old FLW. I mean, that was, that's just been my home all these years. So it's, we're all like family, and I'm so glad that everybody pretty much stayed from FLW. So that was really cool. And I love fishing bass too. So I mean, it's everybody's great. Everybody's everybody. Of course, they're competing against each other, but I feel so fortunate, so lucky that they allow me to do both of them, and so yeah. So I almost, it's almost like a dream sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going from one MLF Pro Circuit event to a Bassmaster Elite tournament. Like, what's going on? Like, it's pretty insane.
It is.
So to dive a little deeper in that, John, I've heard some guys say that have fished both, the 5-fish limit style and the Major League Fishing style. That the big difference with Major League Fishing style is the score through the whole tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And have you found that really makes you fish differently?
I'm telling you, I can see how easily it is to spin out, and I have spun out, because the guys are catching them, but it is nice. Like, I think it only happened maybe once or twice last year, but where you start out the gate and they're like, you're on top. Okay, you got a 15-pound lead. You got a 20-pound lead. Okay, you got a 30-pound lead. And it's like, that feeling is pretty amazing. It's pretty incredible. I mean, it only happened a couple times, but it was, but it was the same thing on the other side. You get out there and guys are just catching one after another, and you're like, oh my gosh, like what, and you don't see anybody, and you're like you feel like you put in at the wrong lake. It's pretty crazy when it gets like that.
Do you ever, when you hear that you're down and you hear, let's just say Kevin Van Dam's on top, he's power fishing, he's using something. Do you say to yourself, maybe I should be using a crankbait or power fishing, or do you just go, I'm going to tunnel focus in and keep throwing that worm?
Yeah, honestly, that happened to me at Chick, and I think it might have been Van Dam leading it or somebody, but I knew it was mostly offshore guys, and the offshore guys were just wrecking them. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I think I caught 5 fish each day, and just missed the check. And that was like, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go out there because they're lighting them up. They're catching them every other cast. And I didn't. I stayed at the bank. I caught my 5 and got my last place and went to the next one.
But then do you start thinking about that afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, I did.
Especially on a long drive to an elite thing or something afterwards.
I know, I did, and I thought, I'm like, well, I was unprepared to begin with to even go out there. I didn't have any side scan, transducer, or anything. I had some Old Bay points. I fished a long time out there, but I didn't know which ones had fish and stuff, and it was almost to the point where some of those better ones, there's already guys on, and I didn't want to like pull up and. I didn't have any big crankbaits, any big swim baits. I didn't really have anything. I could throw my worm out there pretty much, but that was about it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I was just at a point where like, that could have easily went the other way if we were there a week earlier, or, if something happened, you would have got rain. So I was just I just took it as like that was going to happen every once in a while. So,
yeah.
We've talked a lot the last year, John, about forward-facing sonar, but basically with every pro we've talked to, and you're a shallow water angler. What's your opinion of it? Do you feel like a guy can compete without getting into all that, or do you feel like it's just an absolute necessity?
I don't know. I honestly, when I started hearing about all that stuff, it really kind of worried me. It felt like, hey, you need to learn it. Because you just don't know if that's going to take over, and it does at certain events. It's like everybody's catching them on it, and that's honestly what had me fishing so many of these tournaments was it's like, geez, how many more days or how many more tournaments am I going to have where I can actually go out there with none of this stuff and still compete, So that's honestly maybe why I'm fishing a little more than normal too, but I don't know. I didn't think the fish were going to get used to it, but I hadn't. I've put it on some, and I've seen them react to it, and I've seen them run from me, So I'm like, oh wait, maybe this will, it will definitely work in times, but maybe it still won't work all the time, and it'll just be one of those things that are real hot right now, and then it'll kind of lay off a little. But
So
I don't know.
How many graphs do you have on your boat then?
I have 2 12 inches. I have one on the dash and one up front. But like my main thing with that is mostly mapping, and I'll just I like the big screen because then you're able to pull it up, and I'm able to actually type in what I'm waypointing. Whether it's like a bedding fish, and I'm like, okay, it's to the right of this tree, or if it is rocks or trees or docks, whatever it is. And if it's like a dock and I had like 3 bites on it, I can put 3 bites, on dock or whatever. And it really helps when I'm running down the lake, trying to put some kind of pattern together because I feel like I'm always scrambling, trying to get something to work. So
that's crazy. So basically, one
right,
up.
Keith's taking off.
Keith, next week.
Keith.
Next
week.
He said.
Okay. Gotta get you on the show, man.
I'll text you.
All right. See you, man. Okay.
So I've seen 5 and 6 graphs on some of these pros boats now. I mean, I am really impressed. I am really impressed if you're really only got one up at the bow. I mean, you're my hero, man. That's amazing.
No, I've tried it, and I just, I don't know. I really enjoy fishing shallow, and I love seeing the fish eat my bait and stuff, visually seeing it. So I don't want it to not get fun. I don't know. Keith did. He told me a little bit today. He's like, man, I've had that. He's got the forward facing on his, And he's like, man, I got to show you, it's kind of like golf. Once you get the throw down, to right to where the fish, he's like, it's easy. You just catch them, and I don't know. I'm probably not going to do it though.
I didn't think you would.
That is awesome. That reminds me of Drew Gregory. He's really big in the kayak fishing scene, and he's an animal because he is a shallow water fisherman at heart, and he doesn't want electronics. He doesn't even want. He just wants an empty boat, basically, with a couple of rods. That's it,
Right.
And he wins everywhere he goes. It's just amazing to see him compete against these other guys that are got fully rigged boats and 14 rods and two fish finders on a kayak. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. That purist mentality.
Yeah. Well, he was never going to use that. It would be completely against. It's like his religion not to do that stuff.
It's funny though.
Hey, be true to who you are.
I know. I rode with the forward-facing Lawrence said I rode. It was in my passenger seat the entire season, and I fought myself every event. I was like, I'm putting it on this time, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Then I get to the next one. I'd be like, I'm putting it on. And then that chick event where everybody was offshore, I was halfway through the day, and I'm like, do I have enough time to run to the truck, try to put it on, come back out? So I was like, oh. So I fought it all year, and
that is awesome.
So we talked a little bit about the classic. I still think you're. Like I said earlier, I think you're going to be one of the favorites because of your past stuff. Have you? What are you gonna? You're obviously going to fish shallow, but you think that fishing that it's going to be like a post spawn or pre spawn, or what do you think is going to happen?
I'm guessing it's going to mostly be pre spawn. I mean, normally that time of year, the fish, they're moving, so they're in those deep places. There's big schools. They're usually fresh, but they're moving, and they're constantly moving. And it's really like when you land on that right school, when they're moving, with either warming up or cooling off or whatever, you can just load the boat. And that's what I love to look for that. Like, that's what I love to go out on the tournament day and not really know where I'm going to go. And run those areas and hope to land on them, and it's just so sweet. Like when you land on them, it's like, it's really special when you do land on them, and it's just an awesome feeling.
But sorry, Mr. West, when you hit those, do you catch 5 and then kind of find something else and leave them for later, or are you just going to whack the shit out?
You whack them. Like, that's the best part. Like, there's no letting up because there's a good chance once those fish are, because they're moving, once they're past that area, they're either further in the creek, further out the creek, like they're just, so you might not hit them again in that stage, so so you don't let up.
Go ahead, Mr. Best.
Okay, so you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, John, but what's the better tournament, Red Crest or Classic?
So I haven't been to a Red Crest yet. I haven't gone to one. This will be my first one. So I'm super excited. Man, I honestly, the stuff I hear that's going to happen, I mean, I hear it's going to be really big. There's a lot of people going to it. So I don't know. I mean, the Classic's been amazing. It is something when you come into that arena and everybody's yelling and screaming. And like, I actually tried to get approved the other day, a T-shirt cannon. I wanted to roll in, go and just be launching these T-shirts out into the crowd, but they shut me down. So there won't be any
awesome.
T-shirt cannon. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think they're both really good. And it's going to be really neat because the Classic's going to be a 5 fish, and the Red Crest is going to be catch as many as you can, and we're going to be on a big fish lake. That time of year at Grand, like, I mean, you catch big ones there then, and I haven't caught many numbers. And I don't know if it is a numbers thing that time of year. So it might be a really exciting tournament over there. And of course the Classic's going to be awesome on Hartwell too. So, I mean, I don't know. Well, maybe ask me that one after
The
I
Classic
fish
is
the boat.
the biggest tournament.
I might. I mean, to me, it's like, I feel like I'm going to 3 Super Bowls this year because I'm going to go to the Classic, Red Crest, and then the Pro Circuit Championship, and it's like, gosh, I mean, who would ever imagine? I mean, I could have never dreamed to fish all three like ever, but to fish them all in the same year is just it's crazy. You know, it's unreal.
So last year you had one tournament. I don't even remember which tournament it was. They didn't let you fish it over there on the Elites.
Yeah.
Did that? I mean, how did that affect you after it happened? Were you mad? I mean,
Well,
you and I talked about this. I was pissed off for you.
He was
Right.
He was really mad.
I was,
yeah.
and I apologize that I texted you late and get all. You're my boy. I was physically mad that day.
Right.
Because I didn't feel like it was. I don't think it was. You had made sure that you could do both things, didn't you? Before that whole thing happened.
Well, I mean, we really didn't know, you know, especially how the year went before with COVID. Like so much stuff got changed. I knew there was going to be a conflict there unless something happened. But you know, I was hoping maybe we could work something out. But you just, you know, you got to realize. I mean, there's another 100 guys fishing, and everybody's fighting for that classic spot. So I was crushed. Like I had hope. You know, I always try to have hope and be positive. And I was like, you know, maybe somehow the guys really aren't going to care, and they're just going to be like, you know what, he's going to catch them more than likely, whether we go or not. I just think it really hurt me almost winning the one there a couple weeks before, or maybe a week before, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that looked awful, but I was upset. But the wife took me to Disney World, you know, so I was like, you know, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's Disney World, but so I try not to think about it. But as the live was going on, yeah, it was rougher because I was like, man, I'm gonna miss the classic on Hartwell.
Yes.
You know, because I'm missing this tournament. I'm like, so yeah, I was upset, and boy, I mean, that was a rough week. It was a rough week, and then finally making it in on that you know, when Takahito won. Oh my gosh, that was, you know, made the Bassmaster Classic, you know, at Disney World. You know,
Yeah.
that was unreal.
I think that was the hardest thing about it, because you were doing so well, and then out of nowhere, it put the classic kind of possibly out of reach.
Right.
And then because literally we were talking about it last year. John gets into the classic. You guys there's a handful of guys that have a chance to win. You're in that handful that's won there before, done really well there before, and then knows it in shallow water fishing, and that's what it's going to be. So it was. I was like, I was mad. I texted somebody at Bass and said, "This isn't fair." And then I was I even went so far and was like, "Who voted for you not to get in?" I wanted a piece of them.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He did.
Yeah.
Because I didn't. It didn't make sense. But like I said, I'm so happy you made it in, and I know you're going to kill it there.
I hope so.
You are.
It'd be awesome.
Steve was really hot over that. It took me days to calm him down.
Yeah. I was too. I was fired up, but I mean, now it's all over. Like, I'm just so glad I got in, and you know.
So one thing I've been wondering with you fishing all these different circuits and stuff is it's got to affect or impact your AOI chances, right? I mean, what's your attitude about that, or your strategy when it comes to AOI?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to win AOI, but I also I love to fish tournaments. So you know, it's kind of like that. You know, you have to. You know, you pretty much have to give up AOI if you're going to miss one from each trail. But I'm also getting to fish a whole nother trail. You know, I'm having a whole nother set of opportunities to win, which is awesome. And you know, so it's just. I don't know. I'm willing to give up the AOI to fish all these tournaments. You know,
you still get to fish the big ones. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean it's just another big tournament. You know, and any of those them championships are awesome. You know, you don't pay anything to go in them. You know, last place is 10 grand, first place is whatever 300. It's it's awesome.
Is there? Do you ever see in a perfect world, could you ever see Major League Fishing and the elites coming together and only being one group ever?
I mean, I honestly, if you know, like a sale or something happens, it could all merge together. You know, I think it just really depends on whatever. I don't know. I mean, that's it. You guys know. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, there, a whole nother trail started up overnight, and now it's the Bass Pro Tour. And I mean, it happened, made it. So, I mean, anything could happen. But I do miss those days. I miss those days when they would take, I think they took the top 15 of us from FLW, the top 15 from Bass, and we would all go to Texas and fish one of those. I only got to fish like one of them, but it was the coolest thing ever. All coming together and fishing. Like, that was like one of my favorite. I did awful in it. It was like one of my most memorable tournaments ever, So, I mean, hopefully one day we'll get to do that.
One of the things that several pros have said, Jacob Wheeler told us this. We ask this question a lot, which is kind of, what's the secret to continually winning, and you've definitely got a proven track record for winning. Jacob, one of the things Jacob Wheeler said is versatility. An angler today to win, if he's just a Denny Brower and masters one technique, he didn't necessarily say, I'm throwing Denny's name in there.
You're right.
Denny's a master flipper. The specialists, the days of the specialist are over. That you've got to be so versatile, whether it's drop shotting or power fishing or anything in between, fishing offshore. But you're still, in my mind, you're still one of those specialists out there, really. I mean, not to say you're not versatile,
Right.
but I mean, but how do you do it? How do you compete when you're such a specialist?
Oh gosh, I don't even, honestly, I do a lot of praying and a lot of, crossing my fingers or whatever you got to do. But, I honestly, I don't know. It's been an awesome couple of years. And yeah, I don't do, like, I'm not going to, I mean, I tried it a couple of years, bouncing out deep, going up shallow, doing this, and I just felt like, I just need to, one of the buddies I used to fish with taught me how to fish and stuff. He's not with us anymore. Joe Kramer. He was, he told me, he was like, man, he's like, you got to go out there and do you, and just do your own thing. Don't worry what everybody else is doing. Just go do your own thing, do what you like to do. And, I kind of just stuck with that, and even though sometimes, it might really not work out, some of those other ones, they seem to work out. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't believe last year I won at Smith with the swim jig. It was the entire tournament. Like, it was like unreal. Like, I was like, what is going on? Like, so it was awesome. It was awesome to still be able to win like that. I never thought that would be possible ever. To go all 4 days throwing the same swim jig and the Berkeley meaty chunk. So I don't know. It's
I really
awesome.
think in some ways you're really inspiring to young anglers that are wanting to get into the tournament game, because it can seem so intimidating to say, holy crap, how can I learn all these techniques? It just seems so broad, so massive. And to see someone that's true to himself and just sticks with his strengths and then is successful at it, I really think there's a lot of guys that look up to you for that.
Oh man, I just those guys. I mean, today it was so cool. Me and Keith, we went fishing on a pond that we used to fish John Boat Club all the time. So we're out there and we're fishing mid cast. We made, gosh, I mean, it was over 20 years ago now, which is unreal. It sounds so crazy, but I was like, remember when you caught the winch right here? And I mean, it was so cool. It just brought me back to those days when, we were out there, and man, I'm telling you, I mean, those are some of the best days. Those guys, we're the same guys, the same tournament guys, fishing the John Boat Club 20 years ago. And man, you just stay at it and you just keep fishing, and hopefully it all works out.
What would you say to these young anglers, these young, the kids that, like, most of them, the Seminole Junior anglers up there on the St. John's and stuff, when they come up, ask you about, I want to be a pro, what do you tell them that they should work on, or what they should do to get to that next level?
I mean, just fishing. I mean, go fishing as much as you can. Learn the baits. I mean, that's my job. Fishing tournaments is awesome. But like, what I love the best is when Berkeley sends me a big box of stuff I've never used before, and I go out there and learn them and stuff. And that's, it's fun, keep it fun, keep fishing, and, join your bass clubs. I mean, those are some of my best friends today. I fish. I mean, my finance guy. I mean, everybody. The guy. People that come help me work on stuff like that. Like everybody I know, that they're from tournament fishing. So I mean, it's just it's an awesome community. It's awesome to be part of something like that. And I mean, that's the thing. Just go find your neighbor that's got a bass boat and say, hey man, I want to go. Let's go fish these tournaments.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Hey, John, you're standing there next to a bunch of accent baits. Would you be willing to maybe show a couple individual baits and just kind of explain how to fish them and that kind of thing? We've had several guys kind of ask,
Yeah.
what's your favorite accent baits and how you fish them and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So here I'll go here with the. So when I was up north the last couple of years, flatworm's been super hot. That's like my all time go to drop shot. I mean, we watched Lucas and a bunch of them guys just slay them on that thing.
Yeah.
And I honestly haven't been able to win a smallmouth tournament yet, but I mean I have come closer than I could ever imagine on that worm. So that's one of my favorites.
Did they send you any gillies to use this?
Oh, I do. I got some gillies. So that's one I've really been messing with. I mean, they've sold so many of these things. Man, look how real these things look. These things are incredible.
Yeah.
So how do you fish a
Mike
gilly?
Iaconelli died. Man, there's probably 20 different ways to hook that thing. The one that has been so intriguing to me that I've caught a lot of fish on so far is just Texas rigging it. And you hook it in the side and it swims upright. It's just crazy. You just slow crank it. And that's a really good one. I'm trying to find more things that I like. Like I really want to use it like on a jig trailer and stuff like that. This is another one here. This is one I've been really playing with this one. This one's going to be, it's similar to like, like a speed worm kind of. You can reel it on top under the water. Skeet designed that one, and you can feel it like you're reeling it under the water. It feels like a chatter. Like you feel it through your line. Like you can feel it like vibrating. It's pretty good. I was really impressed with that worm. I'm definitely going to put it into play.
I have a small story. I remember the first time you threw the Fritzdale, and you came back
Fritz side,
and you said,
yeah,
it never goes sideways. Steve, I swear to you, it never goes sideways.
Yeah, the Fritz side's been amazing. Like I didn't really crankbait until 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I went fishing with my boss Brad and at Berkeley, and he was like, man, he's like, yeah, have you got the Fritz side yet? I'm like, no, man. I was like, no, I never got any crankbaits, like I didn't know. And man, we went out and we smashed them on that thing. Like it was, and then I went to the next tournament at Rayburn and won that one on it. And done really well. And then Keith went somewhere and he won that one, and so it was like you add up the the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we won the last 3 years on it, and man, it's insane. It's an awesome bait.
I remember you coming back and going, it doesn't make sense, Steve. I don't know what is going on with it. And I'm like, I think it wasn't even out yet. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then it might have been at your house. And then you had them all on the porch. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah. And they've come out with all different sizes now. There's even another one coming out that's super special that I'm like,
the small one,
can't wait. We got the small one, but they got another one that everybody's going to be blown away by. It's pretty impressive.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's asked. Carol asked about the Boss Scrub. I love that bait.
Oh yeah, the Boss
trailer bait.
Oh yeah, definitely put it on the chatter, and that's definitely a good one. I put it on swim jig sometimes, straight reel it.
Yeah. I've never seen you. Do you use chatterbaits that much? I've never seen you.
I use a few of them. I don't know what I can talk about, but.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll see at Rayburn.
Yeah.
We might have something a little special when we get to Texas.
Yeah.
I might have thrown for the first time today. Keith took it, didn't he? He did take it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, anyways, I threw it for the first time today, and it was pretty amazing. Really? I think I caught 10, and I think Keith might have had one bite. on something else.
When you and Keith get on the boat, sorry, Miss Rats. When you and Keith get on the boat, how competitive is it?
We don't at first, and normally we're like more like trying to figure stuff out and learn stuff. Yeah, we really kick a lot of stuff back and forth off each other. But when I was throwing that new bait today, Keith is getting a little hot, and I'm like, "Hey man, you get up front. Go ahead, get up front." And and I just kept catching him on it. So I don't know. That's when you know you got something kind of special going. That's working. So it's kind of cool. It's really good practice. I gotta start getting out there more with them.
Yeah.
So John, who do you look up to in the fishing world? I mean, who was kind of your inspiration?
Oh gosh, man, I looked up to a ton of guys. I mean, Larry Nixon. Of course, like Bill Dance and all of them, and man, getting to fish the elites with Rick Clunn and stuff is pretty crazy. Like it's just so when I get in the weigh-in line, I'm standing next to Rick. It's just so unreal. Like I still remember the first thing he yelled something at me, and I didn't understand what he said. I thought he was just yelling at me like I was my driving or something. But he was just telling me to slow down. So, hey, how are you?
He's grown up a little bit since last time.
Gosh, he has. Holy smokes. Jeez.
Thomas is flaming hot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Have a good night.
God, I love those Cheetos.
Heck yeah.
But yeah. But I looked up a lot of those guys, and it's pretty cool that we're able to watch. That everybody's able to watch. There's so much stuff on TV now. Shows like this and stuff. You get to see so much of these people. And it's really cool to get to know them. Even if you don't get to actually meet them, in person, but you get to know their personality and stuff.
Yeah. It's as a fan, it's a little, sometimes we get a little crazy. But,
that's all right. I get crazy. I was at Chipotle, and oh gosh, I can't think of his name. The guy from The Matrix.
Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves was ordering Chipotle in front of me, and I had no idea until he turned around. I could hear his voice, and I was just thinking, and I was like, I'm like, no way, And when he turned around and looked at me, I froze. I couldn't say anything, and I was like telling the girls, I'm like, do you know who that was? In the line, and they didn't know. They were too young. They didn't know who he was. But I was like, oh my gosh. So I know the feeling. It is. It's like you just get like hit by a bus. You're like, oh my gosh, it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's a big star.
Yeah, I was like, he ordered the same thing I had just ordered. It was so crazy.
I want what he had.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think I know the answer to this, John. But what's your favorite technique?
Oh gosh, it's a toss up. I hate to say this, and I mean, a lot of people are embarrassed, but gosh, I love throwing my spinning rod with the general on it.
Heck yeah.
I just love it. I feel like I can seine the lake out with it when I'm throwing it. I'm like, I'll catch everyone on this thing, Like it's a really cool bait, and it's what's mind blowing is how many years I've thrown it, and like even this year, like I just you learn so much every year with it. 1 year it was like adding weight to it. This year was rigging it Texas rig and jerking it more like a floating worm, and I was just like, I was blown away how well it worked, so it's really cool how that bait, it's so you can do so many things with it. I'm still learning a lot with it.
So do you like the 5-inch better than the 6-inch size, or?
I honestly, I have the 4-inch, the 5-inch, the 6-inch in max scent, and then going over to the power bait side, they're like half size is a little bit different. There's like I think it's a 6 point. So I don't know. It's like a 6.7 something. It's a little bit bigger than the 6-inch. They're like kind of in between sizes. So I like them all. They all I've kind of learned they all have different purposes, and yeah, I mean, we could talk about generals for 2-3 hours probably.
Let's talk about generals a little bit, because I think people are really interested in this. I know I'm really fascinated in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what should a person know about fishing a stick bait, a Senko style bait like the General? Because several people are asking questions about that.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is it all goes down to also to line size. Line size is huge when you're throwing a stick bait or General, whatever. And like I'll go anywhere from 6 pound all the way up to 15 with it. Sometimes I'll flip braid with it, put a little weight on it. And I think learning the different falls with the different sizes really takes it to like the next level. Like that's when I started. I did a lot of watching it in the clear water and honestly watching how a lot of the smallmouth react to it and throwing in pools and stuff too. Like I mean, there's so many things. Like a lot of guys probably already know, but it is something that's huge that like you never see is like when you take a little tungsten 1/16 or 1/32 nail weight. And you stick it in. You can stick it in the middle of it, where the hook is, and it'll help pull it down. You can stick one in each end. I mean, it is endless what you can do to trigger these fish to bite, and it's cool because a lot of times I'll start with it weightless if I'm throwing it wacky or whatever, and I'll throw it. And if I see some fish come up and and kind of nose it and just not take it right away, I'll add some weight, and if I'm getting some really fast follows and they're not taking it, I'll take the weight out, and change color. I mean that what was awesome when the Max Scent came out was how the colors were more like a neutral, like earthy kind of, they're not your standard plastic colors,
Yeah.
And that was, to me, it was just like, oh my gosh, like if this actually works, like this is going to be, and I mean, it is by far one of my favorite baits for sure.
What about fishing the General? What about water clarity? Because that's something I think a lot of people kind of feel like you can't fish stick bait unless it's clear water.
Oh no, that sucker will catch them in any color water. I mean, normally what I do when I'm in dirtier water, I'm going to go with like a June bug. I'm going to go with a darker color. I have this one color. It's green pumpkin, red glitter. And that is that's like one of my favorite like clear water ones for smallmouth all the time. It's like probably one of my most favorite. But I've learned the last couple of years is they really like that one in the dirty water too. Like that was one, I think I was on Grand Lake and I was putting big Nico weights in it, and I was throwing it out just a little bit deeper on these rockier points where I was catching them on swing head, and man, I just lit them up on that, and you could only see down maybe 3-4 inches, and so it will definitely work in deep water. I think it's or dirtier water, but I think it's I honestly think it's like once you, and this is what I do a lot too, is like once I locate the fish, like, okay, there's fish in this pocket or there's fish right here. Like I'm getting a couple bites, either swim jigging or cranking or whatever it is. I really feel like I can finish them off with the General. Like if there's anything else there that I haven't been able to catch, I'm able to pick them up with it, and I think that's really changed my fishing, because that wasn't even in the picture I don't know, 7 years ago, and I think adding that to power fishing and fishing shallow and stuff has just really stepped my game up or whatever it is, just made it, made me catch a few more fish,
Yeah. So what about water temperature fishing the General? I mean, is there certain water temps where you put it away or
honestly, the water temp to me kind of goes back to that like fall rate. I feel like when the water is like, I don't know, it's really hit and miss because I don't want to say one thing and it's the other. But like, sometimes you go out there early spring and they'll be like a more on the dark colors, kind of. Even in the clear water, they'll want that black and June bug and just those darker colors when they first kind of get shallow. And you don't have to put any weight on it. They're kind of like up there just sunning. They're sitting real shallow in water column. To go into where they get to where they're fry garden and stuff. I like to add a little more weight when they're fry garden because those fry, they've already either been caught off the bed to fish or they might have already been caught. So I'll put a little more weight in it when I'm throwing around those fish garden fry to get more of a reaction bite from them. And yeah, gosh, I mean, there's my head's like. There's so many scenarios. Like, gosh, I mean, I know.
I mean, you could talk about this one subject for hours and hours.
You really could. It's crazy. Like people think it's just a straight worm, and I mean that's what I thought all these years. I thought it was you know, oh man, that's what old guys throw, you know. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, that's what Larry Nixon throws, you know. But after you get whooped so many times by these guys, you're like, I think I'm gonna throw that thing.
Do you
So,
like throwing it on fluoro more than braid, and do you like it? Do you start off throwing it wacky, or are you throwing it like Texas rigged? How would you what's the first way?
So I'll just give you the setup. If I feel like I'm gonna be throwing it, I'm gonna have a wacky rig on fluorocarbon, you know, on like maybe a 10 or 8 pound fluorocarbon. And then I'm going to have a Texas rig one with no weight. And then I'm going to have a Texas rig one with, you know, maybe like a 3/16 or something, maybe on some like 15 pound fluorocarbon. You know, and then that's what I'm going to kind of, you know, I'm going to kind of throw that. I mean, not that I throw it all the time, but those are like those few rods I usually have laid out. You know, a lot of times they're like, oh, he just got his, you know, his couple wacky rigs on, but I'm actually got them kind of rigged differently for, you know, for different, you know, whatever I come to down the bank, you know, different stuff to throw at.
So I've seen that Berkeley wacky hook that you use, but there's a big debate out there when it comes to wacky rigging whether you should fish with a big hook or a small hook, and maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Well, I got a funny story about that one. So me and Dudley fished after he won AOY. He beat me. We were both 1 and 2 at Champlain. Yeah, 1 and 2 at Champlain, and man, we were like all the way down to the last day. You know, like Dudley's won plenty of AOY, so I'm like, man, this would be nice to get one. But like, I could just see it in his eyes all season. Like he knew he was like, and it was so weird. It was almost like nothing I could do to like. I don't know. It was crazy, but anyways, I got to fish with him a week later, and we're fishing. We're up in like Canada somewhere. We're fishing the river or something. I don't know what we were doing, but we were up there fishing, and we're throwing wacky rigs, right? And he's like, he looks at mine, and he like looks at it, and he looks up at me. He's like, please tell me that's not the hook you throw. And I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, how many times have they come up to it and like put their nose on it and don't eat it because of the hook? And he was like, that is nonsense, you know. And he's a big shark hook thrower, you know.
Yeah.
And so after we fished or whatever, and he whooped up on me again that week too. He cuts my wacky rig off, and that's what it's hanging on his AOY trophy. You know, with the little hook, and he goes, "That's why I won AOY that year." So
he swears by the big hook. A lot of guys swear by the big hook, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and that, you know, I understand the big hook. I understand the big hook wanting to get it to pull it down and almost like weighting it, you know, and pulling it down, and you know, I mean, I get it, but I don't know. It's not for me.
Okay, I got to ask one more question about the Cinco, Steve. I'm sorry, I keep cutting Steve off here, but all right. I've heard that some guys, when they throw the wacky rig out in open water, say for example, they will twitch the rod so that just enough so that the worm kind of does a whap whap whap
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a technique you use, and if so, when do you do that rather than just let it kind of
do its own thing? Yeah, I mean, I think that's mostly in a lot of times I feel like that's in like a bedding situation. You're like casting it, you're blind casting the beds, and you might pop it a couple times off the bottom to try to get that fish to react and take it again. You know, because a lot of times they're sitting on the bed, and I mean, you can watch them, and that thing will float by them. And you know, and they'll just watch it all the way down in there, and they won't touch it, and you'll pull it out nothing. And sometimes that just those couple jerks with it, and it closing up and opening back up, sometimes that triggers them. You know, now, I've honestly done better doing that. And it's gonna sound weird, but deep, you know, that 7 to 10 feet range of water where you know they're out there, and you know, you're either catching them already on you know, war pig or fritz side or whatever, and then you do that same thing and you just kind of pop it out, almost like you just clear it, you know. And and also I do that a lot. I'll straight fire line those fish. You know, I won't even do a leader or anything. I'll just do straight fire line, and it just gives it a little more action. And That's a little secret for you guys watching. A little added bonus right there.
Oh, nice, nice.
Do you ever go back and watch like the live feeds and see what they're saying or about you when you're on when the cameraman's behind you?
I honestly I don't know when you came over. Do we even have a TV then? Like I don't get to see much of that. Yeah, I don't think we do. We don't have a TV here either.
Well, girls had their phones because remember.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I haven't watched it. Like I remember. I think the last one I probably watched might have been like Sam Rayburn, like 2012 or something. Like I watched it and I was like, man, I was so much skinnier then. And like, man, I looked so good then. Like I was just like, man. But that was about it. Yeah, I do that when I do see pictures. Like last year, any pictures I saw, you know, and I had my my blonde hair going.
Yeah.
Man, that I was just like, oh my gosh, how did my wife stay with me? You know, I mean, it was rough. Oh wait, I got to show you something. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn this around. Hold on.
You have to tell us the story about the hair, by the way.
Okay, hold on. I just want to see if you recognize this. Can you see that?
Oh, is that your hair?
That's my hair. That was so I was gonna shave it off and I was gonna donate it, you know, for someone to have a wig, but I felt like I didn't want to ruin some poor kid's day, you know. Oh, you're getting a wig and then get that hair. So I was like, I had my buddy David Allen tie him into whatever the shuttlecock thing that he sells. You know, it's a hair jig. You know, Jordan Lee won on it like a couple years ago, whatever. And so he tied those chicks up my hair, and I was gonna eBay them and then donate the money so someone could get a real wig. But I just never got around to it. But I got them there. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll do that soon. But yeah, the whole story with the hair that was kind of my daughter wanted to dye her hair, and I was like, babe, it's gonna look bad. Like, don't do it. And so I took the stuff. I was gonna shave my head anyways. And she dyed it. We dyed it and stuff, and it looked so bad. And I was like, I saw a cold front coming. It was the first event of the year. I was like, man, I'm probably gonna do really bad this tournament. So I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna leave it, and once I do bad, I'll shave it all and have a fresh start. You know, start the season off. Well, and I went there and caught them good, and I was like, gosh, why? So I was like, I'll keep it one more tournament, and I just kept catching them. So.
I had a brain fart years and years ago. I was probably, I don't even know. I was probably a junior playing basketball, and my sister said to me, Steve, you would look great if we added some highlights in your hair. And, you know, and I said to my sister, sure, go ahead. She started making this concoction of stuff, and it started like smoke was coming out of it. And I'm like, are you going to put that on my head? And she went like this.
Right.
It only went like right here, like right there. But it turned bright orange, like tackle webs orange.
Yeah.
My God, my basketball friends made so much fun of me. And my dad's like, just shave your head. Just do anything, but
right.
so bad. I'm like, I hate this.
That is crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I have to ask, did you see any on beds today, or were they a little off?
Well, you know, today I didn't see any of that. Yesterday I saw a couple, and the day before I saw a couple. So it got a little too cold last night. I didn't see any today, but
I think
they're right there.
Yeah, I think it's like next week, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know what tomorrow is going to be, but the water did drop a lot. The fish they felt really cold today.
Yeah, I saw some on beds over the weekend, and I was starting to panic a little bit because I
just hope it doesn't like fly by. I mean, I won't even be home, so I don't even. Well, I'll be here for a little bit. I got the 2 tournaments here, and then I got St. John's Harris, and then I'll be back for Harris a couple weeks later.
So we're doing a fantasy fishing, and you, and quite honestly,
Just go ahead and say it, Steve. Go ahead.
Have you?
Go ahead. I suck in Florida. I know. I know. I suck in Florida. My wife's already had this conversation with me. Why can't you win in Florida? I'm like, I don't know.
Did you
I just
see
can't.
where they put you in this fantasy fishing? They put
No,
you.
am I dead last?
They put you on the third board in Group C.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you look back, St. John's River, not being able to come past the land, my best finish is like 30th. And
Yeah, but last year they had that weird. Last year was so weird when you were there. That's why.
Yeah, last year I got stuck on like a 12-pounder.
Yeah.
Like for way too long, way too long. Both days, I just couldn't leave her. It was huge. And then crazy story, Johnny Morris was out there shiner fishing, and he was like, "Yeah, his son's wife caught it. She was like 12 and change."
Oh my goodness!
My gosh,
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Have you went up there and practiced at all, or no?
No, I decided this year, since I suck in Florida, I'm not going to pre-practice. Hell, I might not even regular practice. I don't know. Got to change something.
Okay, John.
I think it's horrible that you're in Group C. I'm just stating that for the fact.
We'll see. Maybe I can redeem myself.
Yeah, I think you're a good pick there.
I gotta ask you, John. Are you fishing any of the poop baits yet? And if so, what do you think of them?
Turds?
Yeah, what do you think of them?
I got some right here. Let me see. Got some right here. They made me some. The Little General.
Oh snap!
They are, but so I fish with my kids a lot in the summer when they get off, and we're up in New York and stuff, and it was the first 3 trips they whooped me on the turd.
Really?
I mean, whooped me. Just completely,
So are they just throwing it out there and just letting it sit, or?
Yeah, they're throwing it behind their head, out the side. It doesn't matter, and they just are catching them. So I'm trying to add that. I'm trying to get myself to throw it. It's really hard, but
I thought it might be right up your alley since you're such a big general fisherman. I mean, it's another do nothing technique.
I know, and that's what I kept thinking too. But there is. They do eat it a lot on the fall and stuff, but I mixed it. Something I learned this year, I did a lot of throwing it, and I'd let it sink on the initial, and then I'd straight retrieve it back, and it looks like absolute nothing in the water, and I just I saw the kids doing it, and I was like, oh, they're catching them like crazy. So
that is crazy. That's wild.
Yeah, it's an awesome bait. Honestly, if you want to get someone interested in fishing, that's what to give them. That will get them hooked. That will get them out there catching fish, getting bites, and that's pretty much my kids they have worse patience than I do, and they're like they need to be catching or they're done. They're fighting each other, trying to throw each other in and stuff, and that worm that keeps them. Something's always biting it.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you go, man. We really do appreciate the time,
Hold
man.
on.
You have another question?
Steve, you got to ask him the color question.
What's the color question?
Not that color question. I'll let you because I think I know his answer, and I'm not going to know his answer.
We ask every pro that we have on the show this question: does color matter?
100%.
Woo!
100%.
See, Steve is the it doesn't matter side, and I'm the it does matter side. And
yeah.
So it really does matter to you. You care about what color you're throwing.
It does to me. And now I'm not like tons of colors, but I think it does the different shades. You need a white, you need a pumpkin, you need a black or June bug.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It's all dark. It's all black and blue for us down here.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, Florida. Yeah, honestly, Florida, you could probably just go. It's crazy how good they black and blue worm. Like I don't even know. Look, I probably shouldn't even show you these because I think I'm the only one with them, and everybody else on the Berkeley team would flip out. But I got. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Oh my goodness.
See that?
That is like a blue tip.
Oh yeah.
Blue tail.
Oh my goodness.
That's I got enough to probably last me about 2 hours on the St. John's, and then I'll be out of them.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome,
thanks
man.
so much, John, for coming on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, guys, anytime. And I guess if you guys have Keith on next week or whatever, I'll be back there in the background.
Yeah, for sure. Hey,
Awesome.
I tell all my good friends, I've been making it a point. You know I love you, and I'm always rooting for you.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate
Heck
it.
yeah, we'll be watching close, John. We'll be pulling for you. And there's a lot of guys on here in our fantasy fishing.
Oh, I got to get a hat too.
They're going to be having you on. You're going to be on their team.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everybody should have them on their team in the first one.
I'll try not to let everybody down.
I think we talked about that one year. I said, "What do you do about all these people that are fantasy fishing that come up?" Didn't you say it? I don't. I don't even worry about it. Didn't somebody come up and ask about it?
Oh yeah, no, I was when I would miss tournaments, everybody's like, "Come on, why couldn't you let us know you weren't going to be there?" Just completely ruin it.
Dude, thanks for the time, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right,
We'll talk to you next
see
week.
you guys.
Later,
All right,
bro.
sounds good.
Bye,
See
John.
you, See you, Steve.
See.
Dude, man, I love talking to that guy. I literally could talk hours about technique and would love to do that with him. But I mean, I know you got to have some restraint on the time. But that dude is amazing.
His number.
Yeah, send me that.
So what I do with him is, hold on. Ooh, that would have been a bad one. Like if I have questions, I just ask him. I'll call him and say, "Hey, is there any? Can you tell me what I'm doing wrong here?"
Yeah.
Like I had bought the wrong nail weights one time. I bought like a bunch of the tiny ones.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, it makes no sense that I'm literally, this is my favorite way to fish, and I'm striking out everywhere with this. And he's like, well, what size are you buying? I'm like, I bought the really tiny ones. He's like, throw them all away. Throw all of them away. Only
Really?
3/16 or 1/8. All the rest of them, get rid of. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, all I use is 3/16 and 1/8.
Wow.
From then on, everything turned back on. And it was wonderful. So he's like just one of these, he's just down to earth.
Yeah, he really is, isn't he? And I just really love the fact that he's like, screw that forward-facing sonar. He keeps it in the back in his truck, the whole season. I'm like, dude, you got some gonads. Everybody else is just totally terrified. I got to learn that forward-facing sonar. I got to do it. And he's like, screw that. If I catch him, I catch him. If I don't, I don't.
I sent it to you.
All right, sweet. Thanks.
And honestly, everybody who's on here doesn't probably realize, but Keith Carson he's
been slaying him over there on the NPFL.
It's not even that he's been slaying. Wait till we talk to Keith. Keith those two are identical twins. Like, I saw Keith at Harris Chain last year. And I said, and he was way in the back and he was with another dude. And I was like, I waited my turn because I didn't want to interrupt. And then he and I got there and he's like, dude, we started talking fishing. And then the next thing you know, he's like, dude, let's go to Longhorn and have steaks and we'll talk more fishing. I'm like, I got to go home. He's like, well, then I'll come to your house and we'll eat. I'll eat at your house. I'm like,
perfect. I'd be all over that. It's like, come on, let's do it. Let's do it.
This year, when the Major League Fishing, or maybe it's the Harris Chain, like we had Matt and Dollar Bill on, Bill Lowen.
Yeah.
They're going to come over here for dinner, and I thought when this is kind of spoiling everything. I thought I'd set up 2 cameras, do a live show with the 4 of us while they're right here.
That would be so cool.
Yeah. And it's funny. I didn't know John moved. I'm always talking about going and fishing at his place. But I'm glad to hear he still has either his brother's house or his house, because that pond behind his house is phenomenal.
I know you've been telling me about it for this whole year, and I'm like, oh man, I want to go check that out.
It's so good. It's not even funny. They eat out of your hand, literally.
Crazy.
They'll
Wow.
eat out of your hand.
That is awesome.
So great. just a great dude. And there were so many comments. I was trying to watch all of them, and it's hard to.
Yeah, it is hard. I was trying to keep up with them as much as I could, and I think we hit most of them.
Yeah. And what we can do is we can he'll come on anytime. I think the one time we had him on, didn't he? What happened that time?
Yeah, I don't remember. Well, I think what happened is we didn't really have him scheduled, and you just called him, or he called you during the show, something like that.
Yeah, we just called him. That's the great thing. You can call him, and then next thing you know, you're talking to him. Where there's a bunch of guys. Like if I call Bobby Lane, he picks up like this. I mean, he and I are good friends, and John's just the same way. It's just so amazing to talk to him, and like I said, Kyle wanted an autographed hat, so he texted me or direct message or something. I don't even know how he got a hold of me. So I'll go over to the house and pick one of those up for him.
Sweet, awesome. So what else is going on?
Well, we talked about it briefly. I got the Major League Fishing. I can call KVD right now.
Yeah, I got mine today too, but I haven't opened it. You said you're not as excited about it this month, huh?
No, not as excited about it. I'm still trying to figure out, do I stick with Bass Baits Monthly, or do I purchase? Do I go someplace else and put the money into something else? I'm not sure what I want to do, and I'm kind of hoping everyone that watches will just go, Steve, just stick with this or that. I don't know what you think. I've always thought this Major League Fishing box has been pretty decent.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah,
it really has.
Just something about this month isn't. I did the video and I got it.
This one was disappointing this month.
Was that the one with bitters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, bitters is.
It's like you said, the bitters baits aren't bad, but they're not custom made baits. This thing right on here says custom, small batch, and custom crafted in the USA baits. And about the only thing bitters is it crafted in the USA.
There's no small. I mean, I think John probably put his first order of about 1 million baits every time he buys them.
Yeah.
He has a room that's probably 40, 60 foot long by 20 foot wide, and there's boxes 20 feet high of baits.
Oh, so really?
He just, I'm not saying that they're the worst baits at all. But there's nothing custom at all. He copies somebody else's work and makes them, and just makes them for a lower price.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can go over there and purchase them for, $2 or $3 a pack, maybe.
Yeah.
And, I don't know how much do you think a Reaction Innovation bag costs? $5-6?
Yeah, about that, somewhere around there.
So he's undercutting that, that great bait that they make, and
Yeah, I think they do on their website. Any 2 packs of soft plastics for $7. So $3.50 a pack. It's not a bad deal.
What I felt wrong about that box that you had was it just seemed like the prices were completely over exaggerated.
Oh man, they ever? They really were. In fact, this guy that made the Thrash Code jig, he texted me and he was like, they asked me what my jig price was plus shipping, but he said, man, I can't believe they're showing it's that much, because it's a $5 jig that they're showing for $9. Well, I guess $5 for a jig and $4 shipping. I mean, that's probably pretty accurate, because first class shipping is about $4. But like I said before, what's kind of disingenuous there is, who buys one jig online and then pays shipping for it? Nobody does that, because it's like everybody's sensitive to shipping costs. Shipping's highway robbery anyway. So,
you're exactly right. But who charges? They're not getting billed for every one lure that comes in.
No, they're
You're
not.
buying them 50, 100, whatever it is.
Right.
And that should be put in. You don't go to someplace and every time if I buy 15 things from Tackle Warehouse, I don't get charged 15 times for shipping.
No.
You get one shipping bill and that's it.
Exactly.
And I think that was, you've done that box a couple times. That's one box I would never get. I just don't know.
Well, I really try to give these custom guys the benefit of the doubt. I got my Hendrix box in the mail today too, so I think the Hendrix is a lot better. And I haven't opened it up yet, but maybe I'll do a live unboxing of that tomorrow.
I like the custom lures. I like the paint job and the stuff.
Yeah, I do too. And I like to help small companies, but man, if you're going to say this is custom, you better put your money where your mouth is, because a lot of us that spend money on these things, we're not going to do that if we're not getting what we think we're paying for.
Exactly. And at some point, like, no offense to Bass Baits Monthly, because I don't know, did I do that one yet? Maybe I did. I don't even know what I did. I want to see more value in these boxes because, I mean, it isn't like they're going and buying it for the exact price that's in Tackle Warehouse. They're buying it for 40% of the markup.
Yeah.
So, like you're with Mystery Tackle Box. Ross with Mystery Tackle Box, the CEO of Mystery Tackle Box, said, I'm going to take away some of my margins this year.
Yeah.
Put better baits inside the box.
Mm-hmm.
To hopefully make everyone a little bit happier. And while we won't make as much money, it's going to make all of our other people happier. And when someone goes and does something like that, you kind of go, this is a good one to go with.
Yeah, for sure. I am definitely convinced that they really they want to make money just like everybody does, but they really are thinking about the customer.
Yeah.
They've got some really cool new baits coming out too. I got a chance to see some today. I don't know that I can talk about many of them, but that Headhunter swim bait, which is really, really kind of popular right now. They got some major new colors coming out on it. It's going to be really sweet. The Mike Buka swim baits, the little baby bulls and the bull shads and the bull gill. They got some really cool new colors coming out there, and there's going to be some that are exclusive only to Carl's Bait and Tackle.
Nice.
I don't know when those are going to get released, but keep your eyes open for those, boys and girls, because they are sweet. What? Super sick sack. Woo! What's in that bad boy? I know.
Do you want me to show you what's in mine?
Yeah, I know it. You did. You totally bamboozled me the other day on that, but that was funny, man. He shows me this sack with all kinds of new 6 cents baits. And I was like, what? What's going on? Yeah, look at that. He's got a freaking Provoke. And
the munch.
And the munch.
I got a trace.
And a trace. And a gyro.
What are these ones?
The flush. He's showing me all these and says, look what I got in my Super 6-sack. And I was like, you MFer, how the heck did you pull that off? I've been trying for 2 years to get a new bait.
It was so funny because I sent you a picture and I'm like, dude, you're never going to believe what they have in my bag. And then you didn't respond. And then I'm like, I took one picture, one or two. And then you're like, your exact thing back was, are you joking me? Or no, you said, oh, they've caved in and made a good bag or something.
Yeah, I said they caved and finally made a good bag. And I didn't get one.
And it was so funny because I talked to my boy that's with 6 Cents, and I'm like, dude, you made my whole day. I was gonna make a whole funny video and not say anything, and then at the end go, that's for you, Mr. Bass.
Oh man.
And then so I talked to Knox today, and I'm like, some of the stuff that 6 Cents has coming out in the future, dude, they're gonna kill it. So
they're innovative. They're creative. They create some awesome products.
They got some really great stuff. So yeah, I said to him, dude, you made my whole week with that. By sending me that bag. He might be in here.
That was funny.
He is. I don't want to call him out, but
it's one of my favorite tackle companies, actually. It's just that's why the 6-sack frustrates the heck out of me.
Yeah.
I don't need another Quake, boys and girls. I don't need another Clout Worm.
dude, that you know you do your thumbnail things. I'm
Yeah.
always every thumbnail is
Yeah,
whatever. It is.
right.
The funniest thing on the last one that you did there, your hands are out like, hold on, your hands are out like this wide, and I'm like, and I texted you right away. I'm like, please tell me you didn't get all those in the 6 seconds. And you're like, all of them came from there.
Yeah, just about every one of them came in the Super Six Sack. Yeah.
So yeah, it was. I was gonna play a joke on you, but I was like, I can't do it. You know.
Yep. Yep.
So can we talk a little bit about how we're gonna do this top 32 anglers,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then get everybody's kind of opinion on what are they gonna do they think the idea is good, because it's gonna take us some time to do research on these anglers.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So if you didn't listen at the beginning, we're going to do what we consider that we want to come down and say who's the best angler. Put angler versus angler.
Right. Head to head.
Head to head. Do like I think we said 4 each time, or 4 a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
probably 4. Yeah.
And then let you all, like, just for example, we said it earlier, Kevin Van Dam, Jose Wehebe. And then we debate, like you would take Kevin Van Dam and say, look, this is why I think he's the best.
Mm-hmm.
I would go, okay, this is why I think Jose is the best.
Yeah.
And then say, y'all, who do you think is the better one? This is just an example.
Right.
And then let you guys go. But I mean, we're going to try to pick who we think. We're both going to come up with a list, I guess is the best way to put it. And then, but what does is everyone down? I mean, it's like the fantasy fishing thing.
Seems like a few people are saying, yeah, they want to see it.
Yeah, I think what's going to be the hardest part about it is there's going to have to be some saltwater anglers in it. And actually, there's going to be 1 or 2 people that you might never heard of. Like, has anyone heard of Martin Aragustigi or whatever his last name is?
Nope.
Arguably, probably once you hear all of his accolades, you'll probably go, why have I never heard of this young man? He isn't young, but he's done everything.
Yeah. So just to clarify, it's not like we're going to just have a ton of saltwater anglers. There'll be a few, but we're going to try to concentrate mostly on the bass pros that you guys are familiar with.
Yeah.
But we kind of talked about, does it really make sense to put like the 50 worst anglers in the hunt, the ones that are always at the bottom of the pack? It doesn't make sense, especially if there's a super accomplished saltwater angler out there that, that's done so much more than number 100 in the on the elites, or so.
And we'll do this, and we've got the fantasy fishing. We're going to have Dookie on, cousin Ken, on here soon to do a classic show.
Yeah. Yeah.
You won last year.
Red Crest is not far away. We'll probably we're going to do a Red Crest show.
Yep.
Which will be fun.
Actually, the goal for the Red Crest show is to get Boyd on.
I'm actually thinking about going to the Red Crest this year. I was talking to Mike Dove. He's going to be down there. And if I can swing it, because it's only like 5-6 hours from where I live. So
yeah. Are you going to stay with Mike? Has he offered you a place to stay?
No, we haven't talked about any of that or anything.
Oh, yeah.
But
he's got a big house.
Cool.
House.
Cool.
So, yeah, he asked me to come up and stay with them, but I'm not sure if I'm going to stay either. But, we'll see. But, yeah, classic. I'm not sure about the classic yet, Booster. So we're going to do that, and we'll have the classic show, a Red Crest show. But like I said, my goal is I know there's not – the problem with getting Boyd in is there's a lot of people that don't like Boyd, but if you really talk to him, he really is a good dude.
And he's a major influence in the sport. I mean, he's so important to the sport. Yeah. Whether you like him or not, I mean, he is.
We might have to – it might be the only one that we probably have to give our questions in advance,
Yeah.
but that's all right.
Yeah. Sure.
You know,
It's not a problem.
I think that the Red Crest, they're really trying to boost up everything about the Red Crest. They've lowered the prices for the exhibitors, and that's made they've got a ton of exhibitors showing up out there. There's a lot of exhibitors that are actually not going to the Classic and just going to the Red Crest just because how much better the price is for a booth.
Wow.
Um,
That's a very interesting.
yeah, and because the Classic is probably, I want to say for a 20 by 20 is probably $6,500 for the booth.
Oh.
And I think the Red Crest, it's like 1,800, 2,500.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and the people that go to the Red Crest, that area up there is that they get them flat out. Tulsa is a bass fishing destination for those.
Yeah.
They don't have anything to do over there. I mean, literally, no offense, they have nothing to do over there but fish. Those guys just come out in droves because that's their jam, man.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
So, yeah, I'm thinking the Red Crest is probably where I'm going to spend my time.
Sweet. That'll be fun if we both make it there.
Yeah. Well, you have a badge to get in too.
That's right. I'm official. I'm in the press now.
I have another one somewhere.
Right here. I'll put it on just so everybody knows. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me, man.
I don't have one actually.
I got credentials right here.
Yeah.
Bam. That's right.
So, okay. Maybe we can wrap this one up a few minutes early. What do you got going on what's going on over there the rest of the week?
I just got a crap ton of unboxings. I got, I'm going to do the Mystery Tackle Box Pro and Elite comparison.
Oh, I want to see that.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the Hendrix box tomorrow. I'm going to push my top baits of 2021 back further in the week because I don't want these boxes to get too old.
Yeah.
And then the Major League Fishing box and
you're going to get the ones from this month coming in now.
Yeah, I've already got 3 in right now that I gotta get cracking on. So that's the deal.
That's good stuff. I know. Honestly, I was going through withdrawals. I'm not joking. I would sit down here to edit, and I'm like, "What the hell, man? Where's my boy?"
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, folks. Somebody else sent me a message saying, "Man, I'm going through withdrawals. There's nothing to do. I need content." And this is a bad time of year for a lot of us. You can't fish. The water is hard, but it's not hard enough to ice fish. And then you got the ice fishermen that, there's a lot of them that do it, but there's a lot that don't.
I watched a Debo. He went like speck fishing, and it was on fire.
Really?
That's good video. Cool. Good video.
Awesome.
For me, we don't, I just kind of worry about, like last night it was 38 degrees, so it was cold for us.
But, yeah, that is cold for you guys.
Yeah, but we had full moon and a cold front hit on a full moon. So I know for a fact next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all fish are going to push up into that shallow and start to spawn. So
let me tell you how cold it is here. Hey, Google, what's the temperature?
The current temperature in Kansas City is 14 degrees. Due to current wind conditions, it feels like it's 0.
Due to current wind conditions, it feels like it's 0.
Hold on. Here for me right now, it is. Hell. My weather. It doesn't even give me a weather thing. Look at my weather.
Wow, it's blank.
What the heck? What a piece of crap this is.
It's freaking cold right now here. Sucks.
14 degrees. That's cold, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
And our wind up here is brutal. Yeah, 56. That's pretty sweet. I'd take 50.
Look at that, 37 tonight.
Gonna get down to 37. Woo! Better crank out the long johns.
52 tomorrow, and then it gets cold next week. Like I said, I think we're going to have this. I think our spawn will probably happen over the weekend. So,
wow, dang, we're not going to be thinking about spawn for 3 more months.
Yeah. I mean, I got some new baits that I'm gonna start throwing this weekend, and just hope that they do well. You want to know what happens though is I'll throw them for like 5 minutes. I won't catch anything, and next thing I'll be tying on some worm or something. I'm like, okay, we've used this long enough.
Another thing I got going is I'm going to fish a kayak tournament at Lake Fork in a few weeks.
Dude, that'll be fire.
I know. I've never fished Lake Fork, so I'm pretty excited about it. Just the fishing alone is going to be. I'm really looking forward to it.
So are you driving to Lake Fork?
Yeah.
How long is that drive for you?
It's not that bad. It's about 12 hours, something like that. 10, 12 hours.
And now you're going to film the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm going to film a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
That would be good content, to be honest. That would be really good content.
I know. I'm hoping I see one of those double-digit bass down there.
In all honesty, if you're going to catch one, man, that's a good time to get one.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
early spring, pre-spawn spawn time frame, right around there. Should be
Wasn't this about last year, about this time, that Milliken caught that 65 pounds down there? Not on Lake Fork, but somewhere in Texas.
Yeah, he was on that Ivy, OH Ivy, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Man, there's still people catching record bass on that Ivy Lake.
Yeah.
That thing's just on fire. It is going to get so pummeled. It is going to have so many, in a couple of years, there's going to be any fish left in that lake. It's so popular right now.
So we have a place called Mills something here in Florida, and today they sent out a bunch of stuff from Trophy Catch saying they've had 3 fish over like 12, 13 pounds in the last week caught over there. And I thought to myself, why do they send
Why publish that news? It's just terrible.
Everybody and their mother will be out there.
You're right. It's terrible for the fishery.
I know they want to promote the big fish and that kind of stuff, but my gosh, it's like years ago down here we have the Stick Marsh, and then we have oh my gosh, it's right next to Okeechobee. It's right next to the Stick Marsh. I don't know the name of it, and everybody was catching these massive bass on topwater frogs. You could not find a parking spot within 40 miles of the boat ramp. It was that packed. It was.
Oh my goodness.
And it's been 2 or 3 years, and it's still one of the. It's still packed. The headwaters. Thank you, Booster. It's just, it kills me. It kills me. But I mean,
share lunkers, man. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's not one of those where I just get disappointed. I've been to some amazing fisheries at certain times where you thought it would just be on fire, and then it turns out not to be. But then I've been to others that have. So I'm just hoping the fishing gods shine down on me.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't we wrap this one up?
Yeah, let's wrap her up.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate you guys hopping on. Please smash that like button. Share videos to your friends and enemies, and let them check out. This was a great show to listen to over again for sure.
Yeah.
And send it out to your neighbors and friends. And let's pull for John Cox this year. It should be a fun season to watch him.
That's true. We'll get him on in the middle of the year too.
Right on. Okay, close this up.
Keith Carson.
Yeah, Keith Carson. That's the next one for sure.
Can't beat him either. He's great.
All right, wraps up, Steve.
Guys, remember, take a kid fishing, get your fish on. We'll see you guys fairly soon.